All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna see if its Google search, local and city Google search, has BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, wherever. Now, this is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got full spectrum intent capture here in white, highest intent people up above on the, you know, over here on the left. And this is for Google search, social search, social media search, people looking for boudoir photo shoots in our city right now. These are the highest peeps way over on the left. So we talk about here, BSS. And then over on the right, we got the lowest intent people. They are actually people that ain't searching for boudoir right now and actually may not even know what boudoir is. But there's the largest volume of people that will actually exist. So that's our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We're talking about BLCS over there. And that is currently we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So today we're, all these videos here talking about BSS. Now BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So at 0 slots, that's bad. No bueno. 0 slots on page 1 is terrible. In page 2 or deeper, because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're literally page 1 and done searches. So for approximately 80% of the market, those are who we care about. We got to maximize getting in front of those people and because that's 80% of the market. That's the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 Google, also not enough because we're still invisible. We're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. And actually, when a buyer is going down and search and basically clicking on everyone's link, we're being price shopped against, there's 10 slots. We got 1, a maximum 9 other boudoir photographers. So we're literally being price shopped against everyone else on the page. Open up everyone's website, doing everyone's contact forms, and we're getting price shopped to death because we're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Common, not normal. Accepted and common, but no, not normal. And this is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, that's when it seems like every week when someone gets a new iPhone, they're also throwing up the Google My Business profile and a website saying they now shoot boudoir. Or someone gets a new camera, they're posting the mom groups, they now shoot boudoir. And that's market saturation. Again, mostly everyone knows that. And a big flood of market saturation occurred. And when COVID happened, people lost their jobs, they still needed money. Everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so kind of easy to throw up. They already got the gear. It's easy to throw up that we now offer boudoir photo shoots. And then we got the second thing, which is new, is very few people know about, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So false belief of page 1 equality is seems natural that boudoir photographers, everyone kind of assumes that every boudoir photographer is either 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google. And no, that is not correct. Incorrect. Google will actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to take. And I know that because I've gone from 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 in only 10 days utilizing this new solution we invented. And no ad spend. Google ads only literally gets you, PPC ads only like 1 slot extra on the page. We're looking to take as many as possible. So false belief page 1 inequality, that's where we're like, all right, we got we got our one website ranked page one on Google. We are, but market got saturated, pushed us off to page two. Oh, that's simply what happens when the market gets saturated. We lost our slot. Now we're invisible. Approximately 80% of searchers are no longer seeing us. So that's simply how it is. And not even knowing there that we can take as many slots on page one as we want. So we aren't even looking for solutions. It's kind of this false view of page one equality is kind of like a mental box or mental cage that people got to break through first to even see if there are solutions that can help, solve or alleviate um, the biggest problem with getting clients. And next, we know that Boudoir photographer with BSS, Boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing Boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we're getting our micro universe set up here. DBP with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality. But thankfully, we now have a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as the word says. We saturate social search with the highest intent Boudoir buyer keywords. So we always show up there on social. And then when we, when we actually get a ton of saturation there, it's kind of the backside of the Andes Mountains, kind of these small streams flowing into small rivers, all on social search. Those eventually flow into the big Amazon River. That's like those eventually flow onto page one of Google if we saturate social search page one enough. So this is the magic of S-cubed methodology. And S-cubed methodology is literally the only thing I've seen other than brand, which takes 5 to 10 years to actually pay off or give the results we're going to talk about right now. S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and allow the photography business to continue to grow, or has the highest chance to continue to grow in the face of market saturation. And this all occurs relatively quickly, not 5 to 10 years like actually building a brand. So imagine we got 1 million boudoir photographers in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. And when we, everyone's got their website fighting for, page slots on page one Google, then basically we got massive competition going page one, and we decide, okay, we got to do S-cube methodology to the maximum. So we do that. We get the first 300 slots across all social search and Google. And as a result, anytime any buyer in Minneapolis, St. Paul searches for boudoir photography, a high intent keyword, then we're basically the only person that's showing up on any search platform, kind of anywhere they look, or Google, taking the first 300 slots. And it's literally like, it's 10 organic slots per page on Google. It means buyers would literally have to go to like page 31 to actually essentially find any of our competitors. And we already know approximately 80% of searches ain't never going on. They ain't never even hitting page 2. So who the heck is hitting page 31? And so whose business is growing in this situation? If we got, the first 300 slots across anywhere any boudoir buyer looks, obviously our business will be the one growing. And everyone's also be disappearing, shrinking, vanishing. So, again, this is S-cube methodology to the max. What's the probability that we actually get those 300? Who knows? But S-cube methodology is the only thing that I've seen that gives a non-zero chance of achieving that. And so that's what I'm saying. S-cube methodology is the only thing I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and actually, allow boudoir photographer to increase market share during this time. Now, once we read that S-cube methodology, we now have page one visibility, P1V. And, obviously the initial benefit of utilizing S-cube methodology is getting more slots on page one, but we get the second benefit initial benefit, which is kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Yeah, so every slot we take, we're kicking a competing boudoir photographer off. They're on page two, and we also already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two. So they're being hidden from 80% of the market. They're only getting 20% even viewing, and so they'll be disappearing soon enough. And page one visibility activates Boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where we want. It's where I recommended minimum of 3 out of 10. Basically 3 out of 10 page one slots comes from. And basically, if we got 3 out of 10 slots on page one, we're definitely going to be showing up more amazingly than everyone else with one slot, and even those with 2 slots, and way higher. And that 2 slots is extremely rare, anyways. So we're basically going to be dominating essentially every other boudoir photographer in essentially every other situation. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV, boudoir search visibility, is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief of page one equality, because people didn't even know a solution like this could exist to take as many page one slots as we wanted. We now do have the solution though. Thank the universe SQ'd methodology, we achieve page one visibility, become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. Now here's the results I've gotten myself using SQ'd methodology. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir, so I utilized SQ'd methodology. So we come down here to the organic slots. We got organic slot 1, us, organic slot 2, us, 3, us, 4, us, 5, us, 6, us, 7, us, 8, us, and 10, us. So we went from 0 out of 10 slots page one Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page one Google search in only 10 days. So these are the results that I got utilizing SQ'd methodology. And after the main event here, I'm going to see if this boudoir photography business has, we're going to see if it has BSS for its one lone Google search here. Looks like we combined local and city search of this one. All right. So here we go, Goshen, Indiana. All right, they got 1 slot, 2 slots. All right, 2 out of 10 slots. All right. So BSS is not present, but they did not hit the recommended minimum of the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 Google page one slots. But hey, at least I don't have BSS. That's kind of the first thing we got to solve. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, you've got BSS, you did your local search and your city search, and you saw, you only got either 0 or 1 slots on page one of Google, and or you have not hit the GBC minimum, recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots on page one. And you understand the page one equality belief, and now you're like, oh yeah, obviously that's false, when we didn't really even think about it before, because now we see how I got 9 out of 10 on page one of Google organic search results. And you understand the market saturation, yeah. New iPhones, new boudoir photographers, new camera, new boudoir photographers. But you're also seeing AI take more and more people's jobs, and you're like, okay, like COVID brought in a flood of boudoir photographers. AI is taking more people's jobs, probably going to bring in a flood of boudoir photographers as well. So you want to prepare for the influx of supply of sellers by kind of fortifying your page one Google presence. So essentially never allow those people joining to show up page one on Google. And you see SQ's methodology, and you're like, yes, finally, I've been waiting for something like this. So you want to use SQ's methodology to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, achieve boudoir search visibility. And also you want the back-end bonuses of using S-cubed methodology as well, which we haven't talked about yet, we'll talk about now, which is we're basically building thematic keyword columns via social and on Google that are kind of columns plugged into our brand, our basically the name of our business, our social handles. And those thematic keyword columns, guess what? They increase the probability we show up here in the AI overview. They increase the probability we show up in AI search like ChatGPT search, Claude search, Perplexity search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search. Increasing the probability there. And last time I did ChatGPT search for boudoir photographers in the city, recommended me, it only gave me 3. And AI search is increasing every single day. More and more people use an AI search every single day. Still, Google is about 90% search volume. But we're kind of pre-positioning ourselves AI search, which S-cube methodology helps with. And kind of once we build this kind of back-end invisible momentum, these thematic keyword columns that plug into all these, basically prevent people ranking on page 1 against us and build up keep building up and increase our probability of showing up across all these AI searches. And you decide you want to be a first mover because this has got to get done. Start building up this momentum because again, ads, momentum goes to 0 when you stop spending. This momentum will continue ongoing. Basically, these have momentum, not infinite momentum, but you decide you want to start the momentum and then keep growing the momentum, actually dominate page 1. And you also see that the further you put yourself ahead of the competition now, when AI starts basically kind of forcing people to become boudoir photographers, you'll be well positioned to be unaffected by it because you've already built up page 1 domination, which is like, dude, that's like 7 out of 10 slots or more. Page 1 Google, 8 out of 10 slots or more. And being recommended AI search, putting distance between you and everyone else. And you want to basically guarantee that you put so much distance, nobody can catch up. Instead of a competitor working with me, where plan right now is to only work with 1 person per city. Instead of a competitor getting all these kind of momentum bonuses and page 1 slots where then you would have to actually, if I were to continue work with them, you would have to rederive the S-cubed methodology on your own, figure out how to actually get it to work. And then you will never actually know if you're doing it correctly, how we've done it. And then kind of you'd have to equal our output to maintain the distance kind of behind your competitor that I could be working with. And you'd have to kind of double our output to actually make up that lost ground and build back up the momentum and take it from us. So you've decided, well, it's better to simply become the first mover here. So we get all the benefits, none of the drawbacks. So if you want all these benefits, shoot me a DM when I open for new patient intake. I'm not currently open for new patient intake, so even if you want to work with me, you cannot. But when I do open up the hospital for new patient intake, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify.